U.S. President Donald Trump is coming after a bridge that will connect Canada and Michigan. In a Truth Social post last night, the president wrote, "Canada is building a massive bridge between Ontario and Michigan. I will not allow this bridge to open until the United States is fully compensated for everything we have given them. We will start negotiations immediately." Now, that post is a shift from Trump's previous endorsement of the Gordie Howe Bridge in 2017 during his first presidency. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked today why the president changed his mind.
The fact that Canada will control what crosses the Gordie Howe Bridge and owns the land on both sides is unacceptable to the president. It's also unacceptable that more of this bridge isn't being built with more American-made materials, even more so than what President Barack Obama committed to with the Canadians at the time, at the start of the project. He also believes that the U.S. should own at least half of the bridge, have shared authority over what passes across it, and participate in the economic benefits generated by its use.
Shri Thanedar is a U.S. Democratic representative from Michigan, and he joins me now. Congressman, it's good to meet you. Thank you for being on our show today.
Thanks for having me.
What's your reaction to the shifting of the goalposts and position here by the President of the United States?
Well, look, this is economically very vital. It's in the best interest of the United States and best interest of Canada to be able to have this bridge open up as soon as possible. It will create jobs on both sides. It will promote commerce, and throwing a monkey wrench on the 11th hour by the president is very typical of how he operates, but it's unproductive, and it's not the best interest of American people or the state of Michigan or the workers in the state of Michigan.
So what does it mean? Like, look, I don't want to litigate his arguments about ownership in the U.S. steel contents because, you know, those can be sort of summarized factually. What's the impact if he does this? If he, you know, doesn't allow border agents to staff it and allow it to open? I mean, what does it do to the economy of the people you represent?
Well, it will. You know, look, I represent Detroit and the surrounding area in the United States Congress, and it will impact severely our businesses. Auto industry will be impacted. Auto jobs will be affected. And, you know, this is, I don't see a reason for, and think there is a joint ownership between the state of Michigan and Canada. So I think he's misinformed. And this is not really productive. He loves to do this, throw things in there, create a news. But ultimately, this bridge must open, will open with or without Trump. And this is a commerce decision, and it's a decision for the people of both the countries.
Okay, by a commerce decision, do you mean commerce should be the motivation in the decision, or as in this is Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary's final decision?
No, this is economic decision. It's a decision that helps small businesses. It helps auto industry. It helps create jobs. This is in the best interest of America to be able to have this bridge opened for business. It's already delayed. It needs to be opened as soon as possible so that more commerce will happen between Michigan, United States, as well as with Canada.
Okay, I asked for the clarification there on Howard Lutnick because I, too, was puzzled when, during our show last night, the social media statement came out. It was like, why is Donald Trump suddenly fixated on the Gordie Howe Bridge, of all things? Well, the New York Times published a story shortly after 5 Eastern saying Detroit billionaire Matthew Maroon, who's a Detroit trucking magnate, his family owns the Ambassador Bridge, which would be in competition with the Gordie Howe Bridge. They're saying he met with Howard Lutnick in the hours before Donald Trump made this public. Now, the Maroon family has lobbied against the Gordie Howe Bridge. They've taken legal action against the Gordie Howe Bridge. What conclusions do you draw from this reporting that Lutnick meets with Maroon and a few hours later, Donald Trump does what he does?
Well, look, he is misinformed. Certainly, the Maroons have an economic interest in having an exclusive access to a bridge. So an additional bridge will certainly be competitive, but this kind of competition is good. It's good for business. It's good for commerce. And what Trump is trying to do is just he has better ways to deal with Canada. He has issues. He has beef with Canada. That needs to be resolved and sorted out. But bringing this bridge into that conversation is not appropriate. Mr. Trump really needs to focus on what he said when he was campaigning, that he's going to lower the cost, lower inflation, lower the cost of goods, and make life more affordable for people. And since he has failed to do that, he always finding all these kind of distractions to draw attention away from his failure on the affordability economic front.
Yes, and certainly a second bridge to reduce congestion and reduce economic distance lowers costs. It lowers inflation. It boosts productivity and makes things move better. But, U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, he said today that bridge-specific negotiations are underway between the two countries. This, of course, is on top of whatever the heck is going on with our trade agreement, Congressman. How concerned are you about just the trajectory of all of this? Because, you represent Detroit. Nurses and people going back and forth each and every day, the cooperation across the borders, and all of this disrupting it. I mean, what's your personal level of concern here, sir?
I'm very, very concerned. Look, under President Trump, America has lost 72,000 manufacturing jobs. His trade policies have hurt manufacturing in the United States. Now, him stopping this bridge, if he's able to do that, is going to further affect and loss of manufacturing jobs. It's going to hurt auto jobs specifically, and it's going to hurt the Michigan economy. So none of this is productive. And if he has an issue with Canada doing a deal with China, deal with it in a different platform. Throwing the bridge into this conversation is counterproductive. He is the leader of the free world, and he can't act so much on emotion and ego. He needs to act. There needs to be conversation. There needs to be very carefully planned negotiations, trade negotiations, as opposed to just waking up in the morning or at night, middle of the night, and throwing something on social media to disrupt all this.
Yeah, the reaction to the trade talks between Canada and China, which wasn't even free trade, it was just a reduction of tariffs and a resumption of imports, which pales in comparison to the agreement the president signed with President Xi to allow your most advanced microchips to go into China, right? Like it's not even comparable. So you mentioned a second ago, just as a final point, Congressman, that you don't know if the president can stop the bridge. Who knows what he will do? But Congress does have in its power the power to stop the president. If they would strip him of some of the tariff authority, reclaim control of its constitutional authority over trade. There seems to be no appetite with the current structure of the House. Does Canada and Americans who want this to end, do we all have to wait for the midterms and see what your party can do in those contests?
Absolutely. I think we're trying as much as we can, being in the minority. But in November, all indications are that Donald Trump and his party is going to lose big in the midterm elections. And that's going to change the control of the House to the Democrats. That's what I expect. And not only it will change the control to the Democrats, but it will change it by substantial number of seats. So the Democrats will be in a much stronger, better position to deal with this on now and off again type of economic trade policies of President Trump.
Shri Thanedar, U.S. Democratic Representative for Michigan. We appreciate your time, sir. Thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.